Hello and welcome back to the Sebastian Stewart Johnson Show. This is Sebastian Stewart Johnson, hosted by, of course, the Black Menaces. Today we're going to be going through an interview that I did at Utah Valley University, and I spoke with a guy for about 9 minutes long. We're going to break that up, and this is the first part of that breakdown. So let's dive into it. Here we go. Consider it a deal breaker if like a U.S. president or U.S. presidential candidate said that Russia could attack any like person in the NATO alliance without any like U.S. Defense, like telling Russia they could attack whoever.
Like, could Russia attack anybody without the U.S.?
So let me reframe the question because I did not put that well. Would you consider it a deal breaker if like a U.S. presidential candidate said that Russia could attack anybody in a U.S. alliance without like U.S. coming in to stop it? Would that be a deal breaker to you? How do you feel about?
Well, I mean, if you're in the U.S. alliance, you've got promises from the U.S. that you'll be backed up. So, I mean, that kind of contradicts itself.
Do you feel like that would be a deal breaker for somebody you would vote for if they said that, or you just think it's kind of misrepresentative?
I think it's misrepresented. Like, if the U.S. is in an alliance, they're not gonna.
Right.
They're like contracted to defend somebody, you know.
And I'm glad he knows that, right? And I think that's what's important is Donald Trump is saying that we should break our alliances in the contractual agreements that we have set forth in NATO. And here's the thing, NATO has created a partnership of peace that has been international, right? Europe was the battleground for both World War I and World War II, shall we not forget? And so for that to have lasting peace relatively up to this point, except for Russia, that is a big difference. And so imagine if the countries that Russia has attacked in the recent years, like Crimea and Ukraine, were in NATO, that would have secured their countries. Furthermore, NATO has been a great opportunity for the United States to expand in its relationships internationally. And I think the United States has been narrow-minded in who it sought relationships with. But I think the creation and building up of these relationships have been beneficial, regardless. So next question. Would you consider it a deal breaker if a U.S. presidential candidate, in this case Donald Trump, said that he would suspend the Constitution?
I think so.
You think it'd be a deal breaker?
I think the Constitution was written for a reason, and I think that the principles within the Constitution were founded by, our forefathers, and they had reason and purpose within that. So changing that kind of goes against everything that they wanted, I feel like.
See, now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. This is what we like to see. See, we have to specifically say what Donald Trump is wanting to do and what he's trying to do. And I think that we will find a lot more people realizing that these things are deal breakers, but what's happening is they don't know. The media that they consume are not pushing that Donald Trump said that he would suspend the Constitution. And so if we are highlighting these things, it is truly my belief that we can pull people from Donald Trump, which is better in the overall grand scheme of things related to our democracy. Because this person just said that, the other thing was just contradictory, but that this, suspending the Constitution, is a deal breaker for him. And I think that's important to move with. Okay. And, do you think, so Trump tweeted that, or Truth did on his Truth Social app. Do you still, feel like you would still maintain your level of support for him, even though he said he would suspend the Constitution?
I don't know. I think probably not, maybe.
Okay. And see, this is why I said we have to focus on it. We came from a spot at the very beginning of the interview where he said he backs Trump because he's lesser of two evils. We got to the end of the interview, or the middle of the interview, and he said, probably not, maybe, which of course is not as is not what we hope for, right? We don't hope for, probably not maybe, but I think that is a step in the right direction. And that is the power of small influences, is that when we started with the yes, Donald Trump, and ended with the probably not maybe, that's how important these conversations that we need to have are. If we can highlight the things that Donald Trump is saying and doing, we have a chance to finally eliminate him from our political system. And I think that would be more beneficial than anything that we could do at this point in time, right? It's not that he's Republican, it's not that he's conservative, it's that Donald Trump is truly a threat to democracy. Suspending the Constitution is a threat to democracy. Not defending our alliances is a threat to democracy. Trying to overthrow the government on January 6th is a threat to our democracy. You know, it's crazy he's said more things since then. Just recently he said that there will be a bloodbath. Like, he has said so many things, and that's something that we have to be in tune with. And if we're not, I think we will feel the repercussions of our actions if we're not focused on eliminating Donald Trump from our political system. None of this is to say that I back Joe Biden 100%. Joe Biden has many, many flaws, in my opinion. And that's not what this video about. And so this video is not a propaganda video to, denounce Donald Trump to then support Joe Biden. I'm just saying Donald Trump can't be the president of the United States, and he has to be out of our political system because he poses a true and dangerous threat. That's part one. Come back for part two. Thank you. Bye.